Hello, everyone. I am Dan Putt, and I'm co-founder of Reboot. We're a Boulder-based coaching and leadership development company. And I have the pleasure to introduce you tonight a company that I have come to know and love over the last few years. I first met one of the founders at Big Daddy's Diner in New York City about 2 years ago. And it was immediately clear his energy, his passion, his commitment to this vision was there. And over the last few years, it's been amazing to watch the evolution of the company and the team, the product, and perhaps most exciting for me, in Nathan and his growth as a leader. So it is my pleasure to introduce to you tonight Nathan Bashaw, the co-founder and CEO of Hardbound.
How's it going? When Gutenberg invented the printing press, it was just a cheaper way to make Bibles. But then artists got a hold of it, and they generated everything from the Communist Manifesto to Harry Potter. When Louis Le Prince invented the motion picture camera, it was just a way to capture live events like sports and theater. But then artists got a hold of it, and they generated everything from Casablanca to Clueless. There's a clear pattern. When a new medium is invented, it's first used as a faster and cheaper way to distribute content in the existing forms. But then, artists get a hold of it, and they experiment and create new formats native to the technology that move people more deeply than ever before, and they win. Fast forward to now. In your pockets and purses lives the most revolutionary communications device of our lifetime. But reading on it still looks exactly like it did hundreds of years ago. I'm Nathan Bashaw, the CEO of Hardbound, and 6 months ago, we launched the first step in our vision of what a truly mobile native reading experience could be. We call it Tap Stories. I'd love to show it to you. This is our 5-minute Tap Story adaptation of The Innovator's Dilemma, a classic book that changed business forever. Instead of scrolling through text, you just tap through one beautiful screen at a time. The combination of words, images, illustrations, and animations engages your brain in a completely new and awesome way. And people love it. Over 250,000 people have read a Tap Story, tapping through over 16 million pages. Fast Company featured us as one of the best top 10 apps of 2016, and Apple featured us as a best new app, saying our Tap Stories are so beautiful, they didn't want to stop. But they're not just beautiful. People engage deeply. On average, 67% of people who start a Tap Story make it all the way to the end, which takes 5 minutes of attention. Now, compare that to the web, and over 50% of people drop off in the first 15 seconds. Now, part of the reason our completion rates are so good is definitely the Tap Story format, but we need great content. That's why we decided to go to market with a focus on best-selling nonfiction books. Here's how it works. First, our team identifies the greatest books in business, history, and science. Second, we create Tap Stories based on those books. And with one writer and one designer, we can create about 2 a week. Finally, we publish to the world. Anyone can read our new stories for free on the web, but access to our full library costs $3.99 a month. And people are actually happy to pay because we make it possible to learn from 100 times more books than you'd ever otherwise have time for. And yes, there are other book summary services, but no one else has the innovative Tap Story format or beautiful storytelling quality that Hardbound does. Once we get a toehold in our first genres, we'll systematically expand to adjacent ones, like travel, food, health, and fiction. We'll also work with your favorite writers to commission Hardbound originals and open up the platform for anyone to use, including media companies, many of whom have already reached out to us. The ultimate vision, we're starting small and focused, but the ultimate vision is to reach every literate person with a smartphone. And we think it could be way bigger than the $60 billion they spend on books every year, because the Tap Story format is so much more than just books. Now, that's a big vision, but our team has the chops to pull it off. Before this, I helped create Product Hunt, which went on to raise their Series A from Andreessen Horowitz and recently was acquired by AngelList. My previous company was an interactive coding tutorial called Dash that got acquired by General Assembly and taught over 300,000 people how to code. Thank you. Our CTO, Joe, has been programming for nearly 2 decades and went through Techstars New York with his previous company. We met working together at General Assembly before this. So, to wrap up, I want to tell a quick story about why we're working on Hardbound. A couple weeks ago, a friend of mine told me he was lying on the couch scrolling through Instagram with his girlfriend. He said it was fun at first, but after a couple minutes of scrolling through photo after photo after photo, it got a bit boring. And so they decided to open up Hardbound and read a couple books together. They learned about the science of deliberate practice and why good people are divided by politics and how a simple checklist can save lives. He said it totally changed their morning. It was a beautiful moment. That's exactly why we're working on Hardbound. We combine technology and storytelling to create experiences that widen your perspective, deepen your empathy, and sharpen your knowledge. And personally, I can't think of anything more important than that. Thank you.